Hi students, now we shall learn lesson number 19, plant physiology. What do you mean by plant physiology? Physiology means functions of the plant. It is a study about the functions of the plant. The three important functions of the plants are photosynthesis, transpiration and the tropic movements. Animals move in search of food, shelter and reproduction. But do the plants move? They do not move. They are fixed at one place. Have you observed the movement in plants? Certain plants like touch me not plant, Mimosa pudica, closes its leaves when you touch it. Similarly, the helianthus sunflower plant also moves its flower following the path of the sun from the dawn to dusk, that is from the east to west. So these movements are triggered by some external stimuli. Plants do not move on their own from place to place, but their body parts alone move in response to external stimuli. That means towards the sunlight or water or nutrients, gravity, temperature, etc. First we shall learn about tropism in plants. What is tropism? It is a unidirectional movement of the whole plant or a part of the plant towards a stimuli, towards the direction of the stimuli. What are the types of tropism? Based on the nature of the stimuli, the tropism can be classified into phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism, thigmotropism and chemotropism. Phototropism, the movement of the plant part towards the light. Example, shoot of a plant. Geotropism, the movement of the plant towards the gravitational force. Root of the plant grow always towards the soil, earth. Hydrotropism, it is a movement of the plant part towards the water. The root of the plant move towards the water source to absorb the water for the growth of the plant. The next tropism is thigmotropism. This is the movement of the plant due to touch. So example, climbing vines. So climbing plant, they will be in a search of a supporting pole, and when they come in contact with this supporting pole, they will grow towards it. So this is what is called thigmotropism. The next tropic movement is chemotropism. This is the movement of the plant part in response to chemicals. That is like example, growth of a pollen tube in the style of the flower in response to the sugar which is present on the stigma. So which is an example for chemotropism. So tropism is generally termed as positive or negative. If the plant part grows towards the signal, then it is positive. If it grows away from the signal, then it is a negative tropic movement. The shoot of the plant moves towards the light, and so it is called as positively phototropic. And it grows, the shoot of the plant grows away from the soil, and so it is called negatively geotropic. So here you can see the shoot of the plant which grows towards the light, positively phototropic, but it is negatively geotropic because it grows away from the gravitational force. Activities to understand the tropic movements. First activity is that take a glass container in which you can fill it with the sand. Then keep a flower pot which contains water in the center. Plug it at the center of the container. Then place some soaked seeds around the pot and leave it for 6 or 7 days. After 7 days, when you observe the roots of the plant, you can see the movement of the root turning towards the source of the water, that is towards the pot which is fixed with the water. This is a very good example for tropic movement, hydrotropic movement in the roots of the plant. You can see the curvature of the roots towards the water. Similarly, the next activity is activity number 2. You take some pea seeds and soak in water overnight. Wait for the pea seeds to germinate. So once the seedlings are coming out, You take a closed box and put the seeds in it, and you make a small opening at one end of the box, one corner of the box, through which the light can enter. Leave it for few hours. We can clearly notice that all the stems of the seedling would have bent towards the source of the light, that is towards that opening which we have made in the box. This shows clearly that the plant stems are positively phototropic. The next movement is called as nastic movement in plants. What are these nastic movement? They are non-directional movement in response to an external stimuli. Non-directional movement of the plant or the parts of the plant in response to the external stimuli. Based on the nature of the stimuli, these nastic movements can be classified into photonasty, thigmonasty and thermonasty. What is this photonasty? This is the movement of the plant part in response to the light source. Example, Taraxacum officinale. So this flower blooms in the morning and it will closes in the evening. Similarly, another example, Ipomia alba, which is called as moonflower. This moonflower will open in the night and closes in the daytime, which is just opposite to the previous one. So this is what is called as photonasty. So the movement of the plant in response to the light, whether it is moonlight or sunlight. Next movement is called thigmonasty. So it's a very good example, Mimosa pudica. When you touch it, in response to your touch, the leaves will fold and it will droop down. The thigmonasty is also called the seismonasty. So this is the picture of the touch me not plant or the Mimosa pudica. Venus flytrap, this is another example. It is a very good example for thigmonasty. It exhibits one of the fastest known nastic movements. So as soon as the fly sit over the Venus flytrap, so it immediately closes. So it is the fastest thigmonastic movement shown by the Venus flytrap. What are the differences between tropic movement and nastic movement? Tropic movements are unidirectional in response to the stimuli. Either it will be towards the stimuli or away from the stimuli. Whereas nastic movements are non-directional response to the stimulus. Tropic movements are growth dependent movements. The movement of the plant parts depend on the growth, whereas the nastic movement does not depend on the growth. It is a growth independent movement. These movements have nothing to do with the growth. Tropic movements are more or less permanent and it is irreversible, whereas nastic movements are temporary and it is reversible. It can be reversed. Example, Mimosa pudica plant, after leaving it for few hours untouched, 1 or 2 hours, it will come back, the leaves of the plant will come back to its original position. And these tropic movements found in all the plants, whereas the nastic movements are seen only in few specialized plants. Tropic movements are slow in action, whereas nastic movements are immediate in action. Next physiological activity of the plant is the photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means to build. The photosynthesis literally means building up of food with the help of light. During this process, all the plants convert the light energy into chemical energy, that is food. Green plants are autotropic in their mode of nutrition. They can prepare their own food through the process called photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, they combine the carbon dioxide and water molecules to convert it into the food glucose, during which oxygen will be released as a byproduct. The end product of the photosynthesis is glucose, which will be converted into starch and it will be stored in the plant parts. So plants take in the carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, but for respiration they have to take in the oxygen for respiration. Some insects also trap solar energy. This was found by Tel Aviv University scientists. The insects like Vespa orientalis insects, they can trap their solar energy through yellow patches which are present in their abdomen. So these patches, they have a special pigment which are light sensitive pigment, yellow light sensitive pigment, which is called as xanthopterin. And these pigments can harvest the light energy and they can transform this light energy into the electrical energy, that is this Vespa orientalis. Now let us see the experiments of photosynthesis. First experiment, you need to pluck a variegated leaf. Variegated leaf means you will have the patches of chlorophyll in the leaf, and there are places where there is no chlorophyll. So this is to prove that chlorophyll is essential for the photosynthesis. So you have to pluck such a leaf from a plant called coleus plant, which has been kept in the sunlight. After plucking that, you destarch the leaf by keeping the leaf in the dark room for 24 hours. Then you draw the picture of this leaf, marking the patches of the chlorophyll on the leaf. After which, immerse this leaf, detached leaf, in the boiling water first, which will be followed by alcohol. So after dipping in the boiling water, you dip it in the alcohol. Then take this leaf and test it for the presence of starch. How to test it for presence of the starch? You need to apply iodine. So when you apply iodine solution on the leaf, de-starched leaf, you can see the blue color patches of the leaf which were green, which were containing the chlorophyll, turning into blue color with the iodine solution. That shows that wherever there is chlorophyll on the leaf, photosynthesis have taken place, and this has prepared the starch which has turned blue with iodine solution. This proves that chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. In the next activity, take a potted plant and keep it in the dark room for 2 days. This is to de-starch the leaves. That means the leaf will not prepare the starch if you keep it in the dark room for 2 days. Cover one of its leaves with a thin strip of black paper on both the side of the leaf, so that both the side of the leaves are covered by the paper. Then again you keep this potted plant in the bright sunlight for 4 to 6 hours. Now pluck the selected covered leaf. Now immerse this leaf in the boiling water for few minutes and then immerse it into the alcohol. This is to remove the chlorophyll. Then test the leaf with the iodine solution for the presence of the starch. The covered part of the leaf does not turn blue-black with iodine, whereas the uncovered part of the leaf alone will turn blue-black. What does this denote? It denotes that the part which is exposed to the sunlight alone is capable of producing the starch, whereas the uncovered part of the de-starched leaf is not able to prepare the starch without sunlight. From these activities we can understand that the things which are essential for photosynthesis are chlorophyll, the green pigment which is present in the leaf, water, carbon dioxide which is in the air, and sunlight. Only when these 4 elements are present, available for the plants can prepare the food by the process called photosynthesis. Next we are going to learn about transpiration. What is transpiration? Transpiration can be defined as the loss of water through the aerial parts of the plant. So transpiration can be defined as the loss of water in the form of water vapor through the aerial parts of the plant. The leaves have tiny microscopic pores called stomata. So you would have learned about the stomata in your previous classes. So through the stomata only the plants will respire, the plants will take in the carbon dioxide for photosynthesis also. So through this stomata water will also evaporate by the process called transpiration. The stomata is surrounded by guard cells. The guard cells are bean-shaped cells that will regulate the rate of transpiration by opening and closing. This guard cell will regulate the rate of transpiration by opening and closing of the stomata. This is the structure of stomata. So you can see the 2 bean-shaped cells which are called as guard cells. This also possess the chloroplast. Exchange of gases take place through these minute pores called stomata. So there is continuous exchange of air takes place. The minute pores can be seen only through the microscope and they are present on the undersurface of the leaf. These stomata are more on the undersurface of the leaf through which the exchange of air takes place. Plant exchange gases like carbon dioxide for photosynthesis to oxygen, and it respires the oxygen and leave out the carbon dioxide during respiration. Continuously it takes place through the stomata. What are the types of transpiration? There are 3 types of transpiration. First one is called stomatal transpiration, loss of water from the plant through the stomata. So what we have seen just before. It accounts for nearly 90 to 95% of water transpiration. So stomatal transpiration is the maximum and water will be evaporated through the leaves through the stomata. Next one is cuticular transpiration. This is the loss of water from the plant body through the cuticle. So cuticle are present all over the plant parts on the surface. So on the surface of the plant parts, on the stem, on the leaf. So through the cuticle, if the transpiration takes place, then it is called as cuticular transpiration. The next one is called lenticular transpiration. Lenticular transpiration is the loss of water from the plant through the lenticels. The lenticels are nothing but they are the tiny opening which are present on the bark of the woody stem. So woody stem and the twigs will have this small opening which is called as lenticels. Now let us see an experiment to prove that transpiration has taken place. Take a plastic bag and tie it over the leaf of a plant which is placed in the light. So we can see the water condensing inside the plastic bag, and water is let out by the leaves through the stomata. So by which we can understand that the evaporation of water takes place through the stomata, that is the transpiration occurs. We understood that loss of water from the aerial parts of the plant is called transpiration. Why should the plant lose the water? Water is an essential element for the growth of the plant, and then why should it lose it? The transpiration has to take place in the plant for the following reason. Transpiration is necessary for the following reason in the plant, because transpiration creates a pull in the leaf and the stem by which it can absorb more amount of water through the roots for its growth, for the metabolic activities of the plant to take place. Transpiration creates an absorption force in the roots by which it can absorb the water through the roots. It is necessary for continuous supply of the minerals. So plants need enough minerals for its proper growth and development. So supply of minerals take place only by the absorption of the water. By exerting the pressure or the absorption force in the root, it helps the plant to take the necessary minerals from the soil. It also regulates the temperature of the plant. Even though it stands in the sun, direct hot sun, the plant leaves are not dried off. This is because of the transpiration. It will regulate the temperature of the plant parts, and so it can be always fresh and live.